So we have got to talk about the failure of the celebrity. Oprah Winfrey, you have no power. You do not have any control over this electorate. Neither do you, J-Lo. Let's take a look at Oprah's final closing message on the campaign trail.
We don't get to sit this one out. If we don't show up tomorrow, it is entirely possible that we will not have the opportunity to ever cast a ballot again. We are voting to save ourselves from this precipice of danger.
We are not listening to you. You do not have the influence you think you do. I got to play J-Lo too. Here we go. Oh, you matter.
I remember growing up thinking my president cared about me, cared about my parents, cared about my neighbors and my community. Not just some Americans, but all Americans. I believe that our kids and this wonderfully progressive, innovative, and inclusive young generation deserve that too. And it is in our hands. It's our responsibility to provide that for them. He has consistently worked to divide us.
Yeah.
At Madison Square Garden, he reminded us who he really is and how he really feels. It wasn't just Puerto Ricans that were offended that day. Okay? It was every Latino in this country. It was humanity and anyone of decent character.
All right, I had enough of her. We get the gist.
I am a mother. I am a sister.
So it is the end. I'm a mother. I'm a sister, and you matter. Really where we went. They do it every time. They parade out the celebrities. I mean, from Taylor Swift to Beyonce to Oprah to J-Lo to Usher to Bruce Springsteen. That's why she got people at her rallies. By the way, Joe Scarborough this morning said, "Never tell me that the rally size matters again." By the way, we knew it didn't matter. Who went to Mitt Romney's rallies? I mean, they were enormous. Would never tell me that they matter. The reason her rallies were big is because Beyonce was there.
But she didn't perform.
No.
Had she performed, that might have made the difference.
But I mean, the rallies with just Kamala Harris were not big. And the celeb factor, it doesn't help. And I would argue hurts.
I think that watching that J-Lo thing, the first time in my life I've sympathized with Ben Affleck, which is pretty
gosh.
But the other thing that was interesting about that is she came out in support of Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, no kidding.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
J-Lo?
Yes.
Who was the president
when the 55-year-old J-Lo was growing up? She said, when I was growing up, our president cared about us. Thank you, Ronald Reagan. Oprah Winfrey, by the way, when Donald Trump was asked when he was running or flirting with running with the Reform Party, he was asked, who would your vice presidential pick be? And he said Oprah Winfrey. It's a bit of a stab in the back from them.
She sent him a note.
Then or now?
Yeah, then, at the time.
Yeah,
sent him a note about this. Like, very friendly, cozy.
And now, I mean, if there's no election, this ridiculousness that there's going to be no election, 4 years from now, I want them all to account for this because no one ever has to account for anything in political prognostication. That's wrong. We need to bring these people forward who said there's going to be no... I mean, her and Stedman, is that his name?
Yeah.
Steadfast? Yeah. They'll be on the moon. She's a billionaire. She doesn't worry about voting. She can literally take a rocket to a different planet. And we have to sit there and be like, oh my God, she understands this. But the one thing I will say, final thing about the celebrity stuff, what is the realignment? What are we talking about here? We're talking about working class voters. What really resonates with working class voters? Billionaires like Taylor Swift, billionaires like Oprah Winfrey, multi-millionaires like J-Lo. They understand our issues. It's like, screw you. You have private jets.
Yes.
I'm waiting to get on a Spirit flight. Yeah. Okay. And like and I got stabbed too during that wait. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm getting off my jet to come to this rally and then leaving again. That doesn't resonate, not because they don't like them, not because they don't think they're talented, but they don't think they have anything to say about their own lives.
This is the Cardi B speech where she, like, one, the teleprompter's not working. She has to read it off of the phone.
So dumb.
But then at some point she's like, yeah, I mean, the prices are too high, even for me. Seriously? Are you kidding right? Yeah, even for me. At the prices at the grocery store. She promised me to my face she's going to stop the gouging. This is incredible. But I think we talked about this on your show when we were here shortly after the RNC, like the cultural firepower that conservatives actually have at their disposal now. Like the fact that you can appeal to a Dana White, to a Joe Rogan, even to an Elon Musk at this point. Like they actually have power where it matters at the moment in YouTube. like on the various podcasts.
TikTok,
like it's the Happy Dad guys.
Theo Vaughn.
All of this stuff
Sean
has
Ryan.
actually resonated with people. I have to believe that the Joe Rogan endorsement and certainly the Joe Rogan interview, it's something that you actually hear people referring to
Trump
regularly.
crushed it. He was
like
so
Trump being there for
entertaining
3 hours. And was he exceptional for the entire time? No, but could Kamala Harris do it? Don't think so.
when they're saying,
And that actually
Trump.
matters a
I
lot.
listened to that whole Joe Rogan episode, and I have to say, I thought Trump crushed it. He was so interesting. Joe Rogan was taking him all different places that I'm sure he did not give a heads up on.
Yeah.
And
Like
even
whales?
if he had, Trump would not. No, but that's a real thing. And by the way, it's one of the
He's
reasons
like the
I'm
whales.
thrilled.
I was like, what the hell?
But Trump knew his stuff. He knew his stuff. Trust me, as somebody who goes to the Jersey Shore every summer, these windmills are a menace. We're all working against them. They're coming to basically up and down the Jersey shoreline, which is one of the most beautiful coastlines in America. And they already killed them down in Cape May because they got very active down there. But they're still bringing a bunch of them. So it's an issue that we've been studying up on. And they are killing the whales. And Schellenberger did this whole documentary that talks in large part about it. I don't know how Trump knew about it or studied it, but he was able to go in depth on it without any direction. They were going there.
Do on Rogan. I mean, that's the kind of stuff you have to be
I
able
think
to
was
do.
her fear. And Rogan actually said, we invited her and we want her on. And I'm going to take it easy on her. I just want to have a conversation with her. I want to get to know her as a person. I don't think that was a setup. That's just his,
that's right.
it's his style. He's not somebody who's combative. And people said, oh, like you expect people to come to you. Imagine if you did one interview in the history of your very, very long podcast that is traveling to somebody else. Go see him. Go do it. You can't do it because you just don't have the personality for it. I'm sorry to say.
She
That's
couldn't.
it.
She spent time with the sex podcaster instead. She thought
Oh,
that was gonna drive up.
call the ambulance or whatever it's
the
called.
woman who is
Call her
talking
dad.
about
Call the daddy
how
about
to
the
use
ambulance.
dildos a week earlier.
Don't stop insulting her. That sounds like a great show. We're different on this issue. By the way, the day that Trump, I thought he was like a real person, was on Theo Vaughn's show when Theo Vaughn was talking about doing drugs, and he started interviewing him.
Yeah.
Trump was like,
And
"Tell me more."
he's like, this is some pretty bad stuff. This is bad stuff. And Theo's like, yeah, man. It's like, and I was like, what is happening? And I was like, this is great. She can't do that. You need to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Sorry to say.
Let's be honest. The world is not getting any simpler. Whether it's a natural disaster, a supply chain issue, or just a nasty virus, things happen that we simply cannot control. But what we can control is how prepared we are. We have seen time and time again that preparation is key. It's about being proactive, not reactive. That's where the JACE case comes in. The JACE case is an emergency kit with prescription antibiotics that cover a huge range of common infections. The JACE case takes the guesswork and the panic out of these challenging situations. You'll have the right medication and you'll have it when you need it. In times of uncertainty, you don't want to be dependent on outside systems. With the JACE case, you have a practical, reliable solution right at your fingertips. And this is about taking control in a world that sometimes feels out of control. So don't wait until it's too late. Get prepared right now. Go to jase.com and enter MK at checkout. That's promo code MK at jase.com to get the right meds the moment you need them. This is about smart preparation for you and your family's peace of mind. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.